Hey everyone, and welcome to this Dota 2 guide on how to play Shadow Shaman. In this guide, I'll be teaching you everything you need to know to get started with one of the best position 4 and 5 heroes in Dota 2. Shadow Shaman has been a consistent hero in the meta, one that has never quite always been kind of like overpowered, but has always been relevant. And part of that is because he is an absolutely fantastic pusher with his mass serpent wards. Basically these wards, you drop them in place, they take 2 hits to destroy, but they do a tremendous amount of damage to towers, buildings, and others. One of the things you can do with Serpent Wards as well is you can kind of zone enemy combatants out in team fights, but usually you're using them to push objectives like take towers and to force high ground. You also have Aether Shock, which does a lot of damage. A lot of people really kind of don't pay attention to the fact that it hits 7 targets for 320 damage at level 4. It's a significant nuke on a relatively low cooldown of 8 seconds at level 4. And then you have the combination of Hex and Shackles. Hex and Shackles are absolutely incredible abilities that allow you to control the opposition. Hex can be used to basically prevent them from attacking or using any abilities, and also turning them into a little chicken for 3.5 seconds. You can then combo the Hex into Shackles, in which not only are you doing some damage, but you're actually holding them in place for up to 5 seconds. You disable yourself because you're kind of like holding them, but the advantage to Shadow Shaman is that, let's say they're hard carry, they're position 1, and you're a position 5. If you shackle their hard carry, you are essentially trading your position 5 for their position 1. And so that stun has more impact for your team because you're less valuable overall than the position 1 hard carry. Shadow Shaman is also very good at dealing with heroes that require a lot of catch. Heroes like Storm Spirits, Monkey Kings, and others that tend to zip around and move very rapidly. Void Spirit, okay? He's able to kind of hold them in place. Anti-mages hate Shadow Shaman for that reason. And that's why you see Shadow Shaman as a disabler and a pusher. Shadow Shaman is an intelligence-based hero, so you do get a lot of intelligence gain throughout. He has an absolutely incredible laning presence due to the fact he has very high armor at 4.7 and a good attack range of about 75 damage on average. That is much higher than most heroes. Alina, for instance, will attack for about 55 damage, Shadow Shaman for about 75. The difference, however, is the compressed range of about 400 units. Shadow Shaman overall is an absolutely fantastic hero, and what we're going to do is we're going to be showing you guys some in-game examples as to how to utilize his abilities effectively after we talk about itemization. With regards to itemization, Shadow Shaman is relatively straightforward. First of all, you'll notice that in the comment section and in the description, I will be providing a link to this guide so that you can kind of favorite it from the Steam Workshop in the event that you cannot find it in the client itself. However, this is going to be a published guide which will provide you with everything you need to know. Now, the skill build on Shadow Shaman is rather unique. First of all, by the way, I will update this through all patches, so be aware if there's any patch changes or anything like that. After the recording of this video, I will update the builds as required. But to give you an idea of how he works, you're going to want to take Aether Shock at level 1, 3, 5, and 7. The reason for this is because it provides you with a lot of damage potential and kill potential in the laning phase. Moreover, the value points in Hex and Shackles specifically are kind of beneficial. Just the very fact that you can Shackles and Hex at any point is valuable. And that is why in your laning kind of starting items, you are starting with double Mangoes, a Clarity, and you're building towards your Arcane Boots. The reason for this is because you want to be able to combo these abilities. The way the combo works, and I'll illustrate it later in the video examples, you cast Aether Shock, okay? And then you Hex, and just before Hex finishes, you Shackles. Okay, the reason why you do it in that order is because you're still able to move around and auto attack during the Hex duration, but once you shackle, you're locked in place, right? So you want to use Aether Shock right away, because if this combo doesn't, if the opponent does not die by the time this combo is done, you can Aether Shock again at the end of the shackles. So you're effectively casting Aether Shock twice, okay? That is the build. You also, unique to Shadow Shaman, most heroes don't do this, but you actually don't take any talents until level 15. The reason for this is because the way the talents work, the Hex cooldown, the Shackles duration, are actually outpaced by the skills themselves. Like, for instance, the Hex, if you get it at, if it's only one second, the decrease in cooldown isn't that valuable yet. But at 3.5 seconds, once you've leveled it, because like each individual point matters so much, that then the cooldown reduction is valuable. Same thing with shackles. The level 15 increases shackles duration by 1 second, but you're kind of getting there with each individual duration increase from level 1, 2, 3, and 4, but you're also increasing the damage substantially. So with Shadow Shaman specifically, especially in the current meta, you are delaying the selection of talents. With regards to his other items, by the way, what you are going to do is you're going to take a sentry, so you could either block the opponent hard camp if you're position 5, or the small camp if you're position 4, or you're going to be using it to deward to protect your camp to ensure that you can do pulls as required. The main item progression is actually relatively straightforward as a position 5 or 4. What you're doing is you're building arcane boots. Arcane boots will provide you with a lot of sustain and mana. They also get broken down into Aether Lens. So what you do is you disassemble your arcane boots by right-clicking on them, clicking disassemble, and then you unlock the energy booster, and it allows you to build an Aether Lens for less money. And then once you have your Aether Lens, that provides you with enough mana and mana regeneration that you can then build Tranquil Boots, which allow you to move and roam a little more effectively and keep your health up. From there, you're building the Aghanim Shard. What the Aghanim Shard does for Shadow Shaman, which I'll show you in the video examples as well, is it essentially shackles people in place and provides you with 4 wards that attack them as well, and the shackle range is increased. With regards to optional items, right, you're going with the magic wand. Blink Dagger is extremely valuable because what you can do as a Shadow Shaman is you can blink into someone and shackle them in place, or you can blink in Hex and then shackles. It's a great combination with blink, especially if you take them kind of unawares. You have your Glimmer Cape and your Force Staff, used defensively as a position 4 and 5. You have Ghost Scepter, which we talk about in all our support videos. If like you are against an enemy PA or Sven or someone that can just blow you up as soon as they initiate on you, you use the Ghost Scepter to give yourself time to run away and stay alive. And finally, the kind of the last step in your overall build, if like you're gaining money and the game's going longer, is your Aghanim's Scepter, which amplifies the abilities of your ultimate Serpent Wards, okay? So let's get into the in-game example so I can showcase to you guys how to play Shadow Shaman. In this example, we're going to be showcasing to you how to smoke gank as a Shadow Shaman. So you have the smoke. Remember, what we want to do here is we want to utilize all of our abilities to the best of our effectiveness. Now, the first thing we're going to notice is this is a Luna. Luna can ultimate, she can Lucent Beam, there's a lot of things she can do. So what I do is I actually open up with Hex. This prevents her from casting anything before we're able to do some damage on her, and then just as Hex expires, I am going to apply my shackles. So once again, what you saw there was the 3-spell combo. I hexed first because it's a Luna and I don't want her to cast anything. I Aether Shock and then I shackles, and we ultimately move to get the kill here. She is smart not to use her ultimate because of the amount of damage she's taking, and she's more or less dead. But as you can see, a very successful smoke gank on a position 1. Let's look at another example. Alright, so for this example here, what we're looking at is we TP'd bottom because there's a team fight shaping up here, and what we're going to do is we're going to identify here that this Lina is out of position. As a Shadow Shaman, you could greatly disrupt enemies that are out of position and basically punish them. This Lina goes from, you know, relatively injured to basically dead. This particular shackles gets interrupted by the Sand King's Burrow Strike, but it's not enough to save the Lina. Lina goes down. Now we're actually going to jump ahead a little bit. I want to showcase to you how effective you can use your ultimate. So in this given situation here, we're moving through the trees. Sand King initiates here on our position 1. We can't have that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in, and you're going to see the straight up comboing we're able to do on this this Sand King. First of all, I pop the dust to make sure he's revealed. I put the ult around him, and then I shackle him in place after Aether Shocking to ensure that we can basically do the maximum amount of damage to their offlaner as well. And the benefit to this is that now my Serpent Wards are in a position where they can focus in on the tower. What you're going to notice is I've actually selected them and told them to attack the tower. Ignore all the creeps, ignore Lina. I want this tower to die. You can actually select them and target them. A lot of people don't realize that. And again, what we do is we're able, with the Serpent Wards and that team fight, to take this tower and move on to the next example that we're going to talk about. Alright, for the next example, we have a very important lesson on identifying what items your opposing heroes have when you're ganking them. In this case, it's a Chaos Knight who has a Shadow Blade and his ultimate ready. This can be a very problematic target because he can go invisible and get away. I have my Aghanim's Shard. So what I do is I shackle him first. The reason why I'm shackling him first is because I want to do as much damage with my Shard Wards as I can, and giving my Razor an opportunity to link him and get on get on with the Abaddon as well. As soon as he's not stunned, I am going to Hex him so that he cannot use his Shadow Blade to get away, nor can he ult or use any kind of abilities to escape. It's really important that you identify what items the opposition has. And another thing I want you guys to understand is just how disabling the Shadow Shaman is. That guy couldn't do anything that entire time, and that's one of the beautiful things about Shadow Shaman. In this final example, we're going to take a look at Monkey King. You're like, Alex, that's not Shadow Shaman. That's because I want to illustrate to something to you so important. I'm Shadow Shaman. I'm TPing one-on-one against this Monkey King. Sounds crazy, right? What we're going to do is we're actually going to turn off his vision for a sec. So Monkey King has no idea that I'm TPing there. I want you to look at what his vision looks like. I want you to understand what the range of the Aghanim Shard... Look at this. Absolutely insane. With Aether Lens and the Aghanim Shard, this Monkey King, by the time he even could have possibly seen, and this is in slow motion, by the time he could have possibly seen that I was there, I shackled him. And then what do you think happens? Okay? I hex him. He's still taking damage. And then what do you think happens? That gives my team an opportunity to actually TP in and go in on this guy. And if you don't think this is amazing, I actually want to show you something that I was intentionally kind of obscuring, okay? If we go back, okay, to this initial TP, okay? Razor's dead for 12 seconds, okay? Razor's dead for 12 seconds. Wind Ranger is at the fountain. She just resurrected as well. I'm completely by myself. But the amazing thing about this is this shackle and this disable is so long, it gives Wind Ranger an opportunity to TP. It gives Razor an opportunity to resurrect and TP. Okay? Look at this. And you might think, oh, Alex, she got the shackle shot ready. My shackles was actually ready for another go. And I want to showcase this little extended segment here, because this is how you do Shadow Shaman. So I went to the shop here to get what I needed, but I want to illustrate to you how effective Shadow Shaman is at pushing. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you. So if you want to take farm with your Aghanim Scepter, Aghanim Shard, sorry, what you're going to do is you're actually going to cast it on the creep, cancel it, and then you can Aether Shock after. Okay, and the creeps are going to get killed by these Serpent Wards. So you can actually shackle cancel to drop the wards just long enough for you to farm. Now, what I want you to see here is how effectively I push this top tower. So what we're going to do here is we're going to rotate top. I'm identifying that I have my mass Serpent Wards. I want to push this as aggressively as possible. I'm looking at my map. I see that they are, mid and bottom, right? I can see that we're relatively safe here. Razor's out, but you know what? I don't care. I'm in position 5. I'll do some warding things, but at the end of the day, I want to take this tower. And I'm taking a look at the map. I know that they're showing mid, so I'm shackling. I'm playing very defensively, and watch what I do. This tower is at full HP. This tower is at full HP. This is the power of Shadow Shaman. I drop my wards, right? I run away. He's trying to kill me. He loses sight of me. I TP out. Look at this. My shackles are going there. I go bottom to continue to farm and push the waves. He's over here, and they have to glyph, and my wards continue to do damage. I take this tower from full HP to basically 20%, all by myself as a Shadow Shaman, position 5. Okay. And what I do here is I push a little bit, and I recognize I'm in danger, and I back out. That is the beautiful thing about Shadow Shaman, guys. You can have such a huge impact on the game simply by using your abilities off cooldown. Mass Serpent Ward, you want to be constantly pushing objectives. You want to be constantly moving and making the enemy team respond to the pressure you're creating on the map. Thank you guys so much for watching, and a very special thank you to all of our wonderful subscribers. Let me know if you have any questions below, and I'll see you in the next Dota 2 Hero Guide.